At Subway, start your day the flavorful way by adding new guacamole to your favorite breakfast sandwich. Perfectly made with a hint of jalapeno, our guacamole turns up the flavor to your breakfast. Try it today on a hot and toasty egg white and cheese. Subway, eat fresh.
The B.S. Report is a free-flowing conversation that occasionally touches on mature subjects. The B.S. Report. The B.S. Report with Bill Simmons.
Welcome to the B.S. Report. I'm doing this from a hotel phone in New York City. It's freezing here, Tuesday morning. It's really cold. Now I remember why I moved back to the West Coast. On the line, Cousin Sal. We're doing this a day late. Thanks for waiting 24 hours, Sal.
Oh, I don't care. I thought it'd be hard for you. You're the one who had a real nice chance to gloat for your New England Patriots, the number one team in the NFL.
I know. I'm glad we didn't come on yesterday because I'm way too excited about this Patriots team. I'm way too confident, and I need to go back into the mode that this could end at any time the moment some safety tries to take out Rob Gronkowski's knees.
Yeah, but now you have the best running back in the league. I thought it was a secret agreement between Belichick and the rest of the league, but we'll turn the other cheek towards your cheating, but you must promise to never develop a running game in the Brady era. Right. I mean, that seemed like a good trade. It's like Owen Wilson getting a nose job. It's not fair. You're already great. What are you going to do? But
we've never had a running back like this guy. We've never had the little guy, the guy who's just kind of sneaks into the holes and all of a sudden he's 7 yards past the line of scrimmage before you know what happened. So I'm excited. It's like dating a new girl. It's like dating, like if you've never dated a redhead before and all of a sudden you're dating a redhead. It's like, wow, this is fun.
But now we know like Belichick is likely to bench the redhead for no reason. Like he's known for doing this stuff. Like he had a taste of LeGarrette Blount last year, who set all kinds of playoff records or something. Or was it 2 years ago? I don't even remember. And then you didn't hear from him again. So is he gonna stick with him, or what is this gonna be? Well,
there's that subplot, but then there's also the subplot that somebody named Jonas Gray is about to decide 5 million fantasy leagues, right?
Absolutely.
When did people pick him up? Last week?
I think it was 2 weeks ago. In our league, our friend Tony picked him up 2 weeks ago and dropped him, and then is now scratching his eyes out for it. But how are you to know with any Patriots running back? But
yeah, and we see this happen in fantasy every year. And this is one of the reasons I always threaten to quit fantasy, but I somehow never do. It's going to be Jonas Gray and whoever just hoarded Josh Gordon for the last 7 weeks, which you did in our league. You gave up Gronkowski for him, but it's always the weirdos who end up deciding the league. We both did pretty well on week 11, except for I'm sure you did this too, throwing the Saints in the Superdome against Andy Dalton into a bunch of different parlays and teases. Turns out that was a bad idea.
Yeah, you figured, the Saints aren't going to lose back-to-back at home, and Dalton coming off like a sub-zero quarterback rating the Thursday before against Cleveland. It all seemed to add up, but it never adds up in the NFL. And Denver money line against the Rams seemed good, but I think all in all we did well. We had the Chiefs, and we nailed that Sunday night game. So
yeah, the two I liked the most were the Chiefs and the Pats, but I centered my Friday column around Week 11's when weird stuff starts happening. So the weird things in Week 11 were Andy Dalton winning in the Superdome,
right,
and then the Rams only giving up 7 points to the Broncos, which wasn't as crazy as it seems on paper if you actually watch the game because, Sanders goes down, Julius Thomas goes down. They really missed Ronnie Hillman. I actually thought Ronnie Hillman was running the ball well for them. And that Rams defense isn't bad. We've talked about that. Like, they have good games. The Rams will have 5 good games this year, and that was one of the 5 games.
Well, this is the whole Jonas Gray theory. Like, C.J. Anderson was gangbusters for the Broncos the week before, and then they just couldn't get anything running, and Peyton was off his game. And, guys went – they made a big deal out of Monty Ball. They've been without Monty Ball all year or for, the last month. And then, Julius Thomas is great. I think he leads the league in touchdowns, but there are games where he'll go to the fourth quarter and they won't throw to him. We know that because we're always trying to figure out which Thomas is being thrown to for fantasy reasons. But the Sanders thing was rough, and I don't know. It's any chink in the armor with Peyton Manning. It's a little scary that the Rams could beat them. And
they did the thing that Seattle did to them last year. that the Patriots did to them to some degree this year, where you just keep everybody in front of you and then you just hit the crap out of them.
Mm-hmm.
And Welker, it saddens me to say I'm an owner of a Welker jersey from way back when, but it turns out that 18 concussions is too many. And he's not the same guy anymore. And
it's bad because when Sanders went out, he was like the only one who would go over the middle, and you just cringe. You want to watch with a half an eye open the rest of the game.
Right.
But
he needs to step down. I think he's taking too many hits, and it actually makes me sad when he goes over the middle.
I think the NFL should offer him a settlement right now. It's like, look, don't sue us. You obviously have the best case coming out of anybody, but here's $25 million.
Well, he has like 3 concussions we know about, but then another, God knows how many that we don't know about.
Right.
And I always thought it was suspect when the Patriots let him go, because it just didn't add up. Belichick must have just felt like he had taken too many hits, but. That's a really interesting game this weekend because it's where is
Dolphins.
It? Broncos home for the Dolphins. You and I both like this Dolphins team.
Yeah.
You've liked them all year. I only recently started liking them, maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago. There was one game where I guess it was when they just destroyed San Diego.
Right.
And it's a good team with a very good defense. And with all these weapons missing for the Broncos, we haven't guessed that line yet, but that feels a little upset potential-ish to me, don't you think?
Well, there are a few in the 2-team teaser range that bring it back to almost 0. I don't want to give the line away that are going to be tripped up. You said Week 11's could be messy, and it was. I think Week 12 could be just as much of a disaster for the gamblers. But
let's go through everything, and then we can talk about it as it goes along.
Okay. Thursday night. First of all, we guess the lines. We haven't seen them ahead of time. Then I look and compare, and you're 6-4-1 through 11 weeks. And let's start with Thursday night. KC at Oakland. And Raiders looking for their first win at home against the Chiefs.
So on Sunday morning, I looked at all the division odds one last time. The Broncos were minus 1,200 to win the AFC West. I think the Chiefs were like plus 700.
Wow.
And now they're tied, and the Broncos have to go to Kansas City.
Yeah, that's right.
Later in the season. We remember this for next year. We should look at those division odds next year because a couple of them really swung. I think Arizona was even last week. I think on Sunday morning they were even.
All the time. I just never know what to do with them. I'm always looking at them. Yeah, Arizona was even, I think.
But we both thought Seattle was going to lose. And now Arizona has a 3-game lead in that division.
Yeah, they're still only minus 210, and then some of the other notable. Denver's minus 350. You talked about. And
the Falcons 2-3 weeks ago were probably like minus or plus 1,000, and now
that's the other thing we've been doing. We've been crossing off teams, right? I think we were up to 11. We crossed off Atlanta. We added them back on a few times. I think do we add any more to the cross-off list? Teams that will not have no chance of making the playoffs. I think Buffalo and the Giants were not on our list, or maybe the Giants were.
Yeah, Buffalo's on the list now. I think we use whiteout and we make everyone in the NFC South eligible because it might be 6-10 might win. Like Tampa's not out of that division somehow.
No. Sometimes they look better than any team in that division. You watch them play, but I'm keeping track of like legit wins versus either or wins, things like that. Right. Mm-hmm.
Tampa's stats are surprisingly good. Like you look at the game, I'm going down and hold on. They have 1 legit win. They have 3 legit losses, and they played 6 either or games.
Right.
So they're 2-8, but really they could be 4-6. They're like 2 plays away from being 4-6.
I think people remember the blowout games, the ones that they lost to Atlanta. They got killed 56-21. Then they got blown out. Baltimore, yeah. So that's what sticks out. But yeah, they're when I look to pick them in our ESPN pool, like I always seem to want to take them getting 7 or 8 or something. So
right. Well, now that this Mike Evans has really blossomed, over 200 yards last week, but it seems like he's making a big play every game, and I don't know. Lovie Smith, now he's been there 10 weeks. It's an interesting team. They're at Chicago this week, home for Cincy, at Detroit, at Carolina, and then home for Green Bay and New Orleans. So they could get to 6 wins.
All winnable games, yeah, except maybe Green Bay, but yeah.
I can't believe this Atlanta thing. On Sunday, Mike Smith they had on sportsbook.com, they had next coach to be fired.
Yeah.
And he was the leader at plus 200. He had the best odds were Mike Smith. And now he might be in the playoffs.
Leader. No,
he's still leading?
I think he's plus 250 now, but I did look. He's still leading. He's still leading the way.
Jesus. I'd like to say that I don't think this Raiders team is terrible.
Okay.
I wouldn't put them in the worst 3, even though they've lost 16 straight games. It just seems like every week they play a tough team.
Yeah.
They've somehow played the Patriots, Dolphins, Chargers, Cardinals, Seahawks, Broncos, and Chargers again.
For a team that got swept by the Chargers, they seem to have their number this year. I don't know what that says, but they're
feeling good. And now they have this Chiefs game on Thursday night, but at least it's in Oakland. I'm going to say Chiefs by 9.5.
All right, I hit this one exactly. It's 7.5, and it's scary. Oh. It could be a letdown game. I'm not advising anyone to bet the Raiders, but if they were ever going to sneak up on a team and steal their first win, Chiefs could still be hung over from that Seahawks game, 3-day rest. Maybe this week.
Chiefs had a huge win last Sunday, 4 days ago, and they have Denver coming up and Arizona. Their next 2 games after this are home for Denver at Arizona. So if this isn't a trap game, I don't know what's a trap game.
Yeah, they could be looking ahead, but save your money either way. All right, we talked about a little Tampa Bay at Chicago. Kick things off Sunday.
Yeah. I'm trying to find what I guessed. Oh, there it is. I had the Bears by 5.5.
All right, you're gonna get this. It was 5.5. It went to 6, but I said 4.5. So you're closer there. And,
I like that 5 for the Bucks.
Yeah, I do too. The Bears are the most infuriating team, right? You see Cutler hook up with Marshall and Jeffrey has a big game. It's like, hey, why doesn't this happen every game? Why is their offense stalled? They have like 10 points at half every game. Last week is how they probably should play. But
I think they should. If I were running the Bears, I would just have Cutler go back and just throw jump balls for 4 quarters. It would be the equivalent of the early 90s video game offense. Just
I like
7-step drop, jump ball.
It seems like it should be easier for him. I know the offensive lines had problems a little bit, but Forte catches more passes than anyone out of the backfield, and then you have like 2 stud receivers and Martellus Bennett. So
yeah, they can't really block, but I agree with you. I would go quick pace, just run and gun, and go out swinging. Try to score 40 points a game. What do I
know? Detroit at New England, 7-3. At New England, 8-2.
I feel pretty confident about this game. I don't like when I'm confident as a Patriot fan because the rug always gets pulled out. But
you've been confident. I don't think you've ever been confident 3 weeks in a row and they've come through like that. And that's where we are with you.
Well, it's good. I'm in a good place because I'm both confident and not confident because I feel like if Gronkowski is 100%, we're the best team in the league. And the only team I'm afraid of is either the Chiefs, because I think the Chiefs could run on us, and I'm afraid of the Packers, just because they're ridiculous right now. But Gronk, I mean, every Gronk pass, you just want him to get tackled and get up. And that's where we are. And it's like everyone goes for his knees and his legs. And even that last touchdown he scored, like he just decided to jump in the air because he knew the guys were going to go at his knees. So if we could just get 2 more months out of him healthy, I feel good about my team.
I think he's the most exciting player in football right now. I think a couple of weeks ago, you asked me who the biggest weapon is, and I agreed it was him. He's also the biggest weapon. I have a lot of complaints. People said Megatron, and those guys are obviously all great. But talking about, it's not even the play that gets me excited with Gronkowski. Stiff arming guys with his left, holding the ball with his right, and then switching off, stiff arming the guy with his right, holding the ball in his left, and then beating the crap out of a defender after the play. Like it's a fist fight on the sideline every play.
It was great.
It's terrific. It really is.
He threw him out of the club, Sal. The thing is, he is the biggest weapon, and it's not close because he can affect the game without having he had 3 catches midway through that third quarter, but we were running the ball down their throats because when we have him in as a blocker, the other team has to respect the pass. There's no other weapon like that in football. We had a 6-man line, and they were expecting us to throw.
Talk to any defensive coordinator, and they'll tell you double teaming a tight end screws up a defense much more than double teaming a wide receiver. Figuring that out. So,
well, even when you play in video games, there's nothing scarier than when somebody has a pass catching tight end because you just don't know what to do. It's like I can't bring my dudes up because that guy's going to run by him. Mm-hmm. So, and they've done a really nice job this year of just kind of, not forcing it to him, kind of, letting the game kind of unfold. And then when they really need him, they use him. But
what'd you have for a spread here, Detroit at New England?
I have 7.5 for the Pats.
I said 7.5 also. It was 6. It went to 7. So we tie there. And so a little bit scary. I know Detroit's 7-3, but it seems like they haven't had a good win in over a month, and it seems like Patriots should give no fewer than 9 points at home. But
it's weird that Detroit doesn't score.
Mm-hmm.
Like they had 6 points last week, 20 the week before. They had 22 in London against Atlanta in week 8, but they went scoreless in the first half of that one.
Yeah, that was all fourth quarter.
They scored 24 in week 7, and they came back to win that one against New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
17 against the Vikings, 14 against the Bills, 24 against the Jets, 19 against the Packers, 7 against the Panthers, and they had 35 in week 1. But the team just cannot get to 24 points. So
yeah.
With the way New England's scoring right now, if they're healthy, I think the Lions are going to be in trouble in that game unless they change what they're doing.
They just win a shootout. Yeah. Cleveland at Atlanta.
Are you were kind of on that Browns bandwagon a little bit.
I just wish their offense was a little more consistent, and I don't even think they should start Johnny Manziel yet, but man, weird turnovers and overthrows. I mean, you don't want Hoyer throwing 50 times a game. It's not a recipe for success.
Well, 20 for 50 is really awful.
Yeah.
That's about as low as you're going to get for 50 with the current rules. If you throw 50 times to only complete 20 is impossible.
Yeah, that's bad news. But as you said, Josh Gordon returns, and I don't want to give you.
And that might be kind of underrated, the Josh Gordon return. I mean, I think so. I have the Falcons by 3.5 in this game. That might be too low.
No, that's exactly right. I said 4, and it is 3.5.
Couldn't you see Josh Gordon going for 210 yards and 3 touchdowns this weekend?
Sure.
Against that crappy Atlanta team?
I think that's a fair line. I mean, Cleveland's 6-4 in a better division than Atlanta, who's 4-6. By the way, Atlanta, after these early afternoon games, could be in first place alone after and they went 53 days without winning a game. It's insane.
Yeah, they lost to think about this now. 4, 5, 6, 7, those weeks. They lost to the Vikings, the Giants, the Bears, and then they lost to the Ravens and Lions. So that's 5 straight. And then the Lions game was stupid. They never should have lost that game. Bye week, they beat the Bucks by 10, came back to beat the Panthers last week by 2. I have no idea if that team is even remotely half decent. I think they still suck, would be my opinion.
I don't know what their plans are for a Christmas gift for Graham Gano, but he saved their season, missing a field goal and then the long one at the end. But yeah, they're 4-6.
True. Well, and then here's the other thing. So they have Arizona next week, at Green Bay, home for Pittsburgh, at New Orleans, and then they finish home against Carolina. But they have 6-10 that really could be the division. And what's the line for Green Bay at Atlanta? For week 18, is that 14.5?
It could be. It's definitely a double digit, I think. Have there been double digit road? I think New Orleans gave Seattle 9, was laying 9 to Seattle when didn't Marshawn Lynch go crazy?
I thought Pittsburgh at Tebow was 10.5, wasn't it?
Oh, that might have been that high.
That's one of my favorite bets I've ever made.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I think Packers at Atlanta is 11.5, 12, 13. It's in that range.
Green Bay, not even in first place in their division, minus 400 to win the division, and 4-1 favorite to win the Super Bowl. But we'll get to them. Actually, let's get to them now. Green Bay at Minnesota.
Yeah. Did you take the Eagles or the Packers last week?
I took the Packers, but just nothing big, nothing great, just in the pools. But
right. I took the Eagles and didn't realize how stupid it was until the game started, and I realized I had Mark Sanchez in Lambeau Field, and then I felt like a dumbass.
He's a legend in Lambeau. What are you talking about?
I have the Packers by 8.5 against the Vikings. I think that line's going to be too high.
All right. Well, it's going to be even higher than you think. I had it exactly. It's 10. So they're taking no prisoners with this Packers team. I think Vegas has lost a bunch on Green Bay in the last couple of weeks. They're not screwing around. And no Adrian Peterson. That was a good thing about waiting one day. We get the Adrian Peterson news. He looks like he won't be playing football this year.
Is that definite?
Yeah, it was announced today. And I mean, I guess they can appeal, but the league has no plan to reinstate him before April 2015. One more tidbit on the Green Bay Minnesota game. Home dogs of 8 points or more are 26-9 against the spread this year. So Minnesota fits into that category.
Wait, home dogs of what?
Home dogs getting 8 or more points are 26-9 against the spread.
How have there been 35 home dogs getting 8 points?
I don't know if that's this year. That must date back to last year a little bit.
Yeah, that's got to be like the last couple of years.
Yeah. But still
yeah.
I like it. Trend. Jacksonville, Indianapolis. What's that?
Good luck taking Minnesota in that game.
I know.
Wow. So the Colts, it looks like the Colts are the good bad team.
Yeah, 6-4. Jags 1-9.
Like this, I think is one of the best picks of the week. I'm gonna say Colts by 9.5. I think they win by 30.
Oh boy, you might have been closer if you said 30. I said 13.5, and it's 14.
Oh wow, I was way off.
Yeah,
I thought they would. So it's 14.
It's 14.
I thought they would downgrade the Colts because the Bradshaw got hurt and they looked like crap last week.
Well, and you don't want to give the Jags 2 weeks to prepare for anyone. They're on a bye from London. Yeah, it seemed high, but when the final score plays out, it'll make sense.
So basically, it's just Trent Richardson running the ball with the lead. Now I'm talking myself into the Jags.
Well,
the Colts could be up 21-0, running for a yard a pop.
Let's ask you this. We take you Andrew the Giant Luck this Sunday. You have the enviable task of going against the Jacksonville Jaguars at home in the Jaffa Mosque in Altoona, Pennsylvania. Your thoughts?
We're still licking our wounds after last week. It was just an incredible, explosive performance by Tom Brady and the Patriots. We learned a lot from it, and we're going to go out this week and try to incorporate some of those lessons.
I'm really getting better at this, Andrew the Giant.
You are getting better. He sounds really down in the dumps. I hope he can recover from that Pats loss.
By the way, we own Andrew the Giant. I think we've outscored them by like 100 points in 3 games.
Oh, I thought you meant we own.
We're the Killer Khan to his Andrew the Giant.
Oh, I like that.
Thank you.
Jets at Buffalo.
Oh. I have the Bills by...
Loser left town a long time ago, but
loser has to leave town again. Why wouldn't they start E.J. Manuel in this game?
They swear they're not going to. Kyle Orton's our man.
God, he stinks. He's killed them this season.
I don't know which way to go with that.
It's just hard for me to believe that, Ryan Mallett, I think the Pats only got like a 7th rounder for him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand how teams value these picks. Like, it seems like after the 3rd round, it's a crapshoot. You have a 10% chance of getting somebody, unless it's like you take a guard or somebody like that.
Right.
Why wouldn't Ryan Mallett be worth like a 5th rounder? Like, the guy learned under Brady for 4 years. Mm-hmm. He has size. He has arm strength. Like, isn't that worth a 5th rounder to take the 15% chance he might be decent?
Well, it seems like it was. I mean, what did you say? A 7th round they got for him?
I think it was a 7th rounder. It's a steal.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
That's
not
good.
saying he's going to make 7 Pro Bowls, but damn, I mean, when you look at how many crappy quarterbacks we got to watch every week, like that guy actually has potential.
Well, I think what you're saying, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're saying it's not always about the X's and O's. It's about the Jims and Joes. And I appreciate that. I really do.
Thank you.
Is that what you're saying?
The Butler did it. Bills by 6.
All right, I hit this one exactly. It's 4.5. You know, for some reason they trust the Jets more than they trust the Bills at home, but
I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the Jets, their last. Beat the Steelers. Legitimate loss to the Chiefs. Legitimate loss to the Bills just beat them by 20.
Right. It's just such a stay away. They beat them in New York.
Stay away. Stay away, America.
That was Vic's first game back, part of the way through. All right, Tennessee at Philadelphia. Titans showed some spunk yesterday, huh?
Yeah, they choked though. That was a choke job.
Mm-hmm.
They had that game. They dropped a couple. They had one last drive there, and they just too bad.
Mettenberger wasn't all touchdowns. We had scored 4 times through early in the third quarter. I was kind of impressed with their offense, and they were running the ball. But, yeah, they did choke it away. After a pick 6, you thought he was dead.
This is Eagles-Titans, right?
Eagles-Titans. Eagles are home.
Yeah, I have the Eagles by 7.
Oh, wow. You're going low here, Billy. I said 10, and it's 11.
That's a ludicrous line.
Well, let me just
I don't agree with that line at all. The Eagles can't block. That should matter in the big scheme of things.
Maybe so, but they're 3-0 against the spread after losing by 75 or more points the week before. So you have to take that into account. Yeah,
should Mark Sanchez be favored by 11 points over anybody?
Double digits? No, I don't think so.
That's a stupid line.
High. That is high.
But if
Pittsburgh had won by 10, would you still think it was high?
This has all the makings of the wonk week. I don't think week 11 was an official wonk week. It only had 2 weird games. I think the Titans would have had to beat Pittsburgh yesterday. This one you have the Raiders, Chiefs, you have the Vikings, Packers, Jags, Colts, Washington, San Francisco, Dolphins, Broncos, Rams, Chargers, Bucks, Bears. There's a lot of live dogs this week.
I think you don't want to say it, but Patriots, Lions could be another one. But
if Gronk goes down, yeah, you're right.
If there's double digit favorites. One of them I think is going to lose for sure. You mentioned San Francisco. We'll get to later. Tennessee.
Maybe we do the thing. We've done this before and it worked. Maybe we do the thing where we just bet $100 on each money line underdog.
Yeah.
And you try to hit 2 or 3 of them.
$100. Yeah.
Well, I'll try to find it.
I think you left at the blackjack table the other night. We were in Vegas. We had a fun time.
It's too much alcohol.
I think it was about as fun of a one-night trip to Vegas as you could have with wives there. Maybe, I don't know. It's like
well, especially because we broke off from them.
Right.
Yeah. The biggest revelation of the Friday night was that Adam Carolla thinks John Hyatt is a better songwriter than Bruce Springsteen. I swear to God. This was argued at the dinner table for 45 solid minutes. I don't even know. I thought he was talking about John Waite, the guy who sings Change and Missing You. Change. I didn't even know. I didn't realize he was talking about John Hyatt. All of us were just confused.
I thought he was talking about Bray Wyatt, the ultra heel in the WWE.
Like, John Wyatt? If there's a new member of the Wyatt family? No, John Hyatt.
We should give some backup stories. Adam's wife is obsessed with Bruce Springsteen, and we'll follow him on a moment's notice. We'll take off and go see him, like in New York or Jersey or anywhere. And host
the podcast, the 10th Avenue podcast, which I'm going on soon, where she talks to other people who love Bruce Springsteen.
And this drives Adam crazy, and he's forced to make ludicrous statements like John Hyatt or Wyatt is a better songwriter than Bruce Springsteen.
Well, he judges his Bruce songwriting argument by the fact that Thunder Road is admittedly, it's not the greatest written song. It's loaded with cliches. I'm not going to totally defend Thunder Road. I think it is what it is. But he's also had a ton of really well-written songs.
Of course, yeah.
And the Tunnel of Love album, I still stand by as being phenomenally written. But it was just he, as you said, his wife loves Springsteen, and it bugs him, and he just looks for ways to undermine Springsteen. But we argued about this for an hour. This is an hour-long dinner argument.
Carolla's famous for that. He'll latch on to a one song that he doesn't like. He'll take the Eagles and it'll be like, Witchy Woman. You think Witchy Woman's a good song? And then 40 minutes later, you're still talking about Witchy Woman. All right. I used to like the Eagles. Now I guess I don't like the Eagles because of Witchy Woman. I don't know what just happened.
Well, one of his best theories is that we should, America should just stop collectively playing certain songs that have been overplayed. I do stand by that theory.
Yeah.
Where it's American Pie by Don McLean just needs to go away. Songs like that. But yeah, it was, so we ended up at a blackjack table and we did a couple fireball shots for some reason. And, you disappeared. I was about to go on a run and I just had to go to bed. My body started to shut down. It's embarrassing. The mid-40s, not kind to Vegas.
I know, but we were at the table for a good 3 hours. And to me, I don't even care to make money. I just want to get to a point where we can make fun of the dealer and he laughs and we laugh and that's it. Yeah,
and I got to do we went on one run at one point. I got to do the thing where I yell at the pit boss to turn the overhead camera on, which is one of my favorite blackjack traditions. They never know what to do when you do that. They turn it on! Turn it on right now! Something's going on at this table!
I like when I'm leaving the table at $60 and I ask the pit boss to have security escort me to the room. Their face is priceless. They don't know what to do.
Yeah, I really love blackjack.
It's fun. Cincinnati and Houston.
I'm really off this week.
This is kind of a decent game.
Texans by 2.
You're going to get this. I was way off on this. I said Bengals by 2, and it's Texans by 1.5. So that's yours. 4. So after the early games, I'm up 6-4. But did we write off this Bengals team a little too early? I don't understand what happened in that game in New Orleans. Talk about a team should score points.
We did. We wrote them off too early. I assumed they would lose in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what they have left: at Houston, at Tampa, home for Pitt, at Cleveland, Denver Monday night at home, and then at Pittsburgh.
They're home for the Denver game?
They're home for the Denver game. So they're 6-3-1. Now, if they go 9-6-1, they're not going to win the division. But if they go 10-5-1, they're going to win the division.
You think 9-6-1 might not win it, huh?
I think somebody goes 10-6 in that division.
So Baltimore would have to go 4-2 the rest of the way.
That's happening. Pencil that in.
Right. Interesting. So they may have to sweep Pittsburgh or something like that.
The Bengals can only lose 2 more times, in my opinion.
Interesting. All right. Well, we may cross them off after this week. All right. Late afternoon, Cardinals at Seahawks. 9-1 Cardinals, 6-4 Seahawks. And somehow the NFC West could be wrapped up after week 12.
It's amazing. Right? This line, it's like a 4-point swing that wouldn't surprise me. I have the Seahawks by 5.5.
What happens? We split this one. I said 6.5 and it's 6.
Oh, that's what I had originally. I changed it.
Do you want to, you wouldn't bet Seattle here though, right? Or do you like them?
I don't think Seattle's very good. I say that with all due respect to the phenomenal run they had last year. I thought they were a great Super Bowl champion. I loved what they did in the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. I don't think they're very good. They don't have anyone who can make a play other than Marshawn Lynch or if Russell Wilson's scrambling. But when you don't have receivers who can get open, you look at that Chiefs game, they had 3 different 4th downs that they blew, And
that game I don't even think should have been as close as it was. There were 2 weird fumbles. There was bad spots. Even though they reversed one spot, there was another bad spot. There was a weird 3rd down pass interference call that, killed the momentum. But so I agree. I don't think the Seahawks are as good as everyone wants them to be. And this Arizona team is scary all of a sudden. It's like they wear the all reds and, you have Stanton throwing to 8 different receivers / running backs, and their defense is, they've had injuries, but they're solid all around. This is a scary, I know as Patriots, you'd probably rather play Arizona in the Super Bowl in Arizona than Green Bay, but you may think twice about that. I mean, this is a scary team again.
Well, you're preaching to the choir in Arizona.
Yeah.
I've been backing them week after week. They remind me a lot of the Royals that we almost won a lot of money on, where if it gets to the fourth quarter, with the Royals, it was if they can get to the seventh inning, they're going to win. And the Cardinals, it's like if they can just get to the fourth quarter, they're going to win. Like their defense just shuts down. They don't make mistakes. And if they're up by a touchdown in the fourth quarter, they're not giving it up. And if anything, they're going to go the other way and they'll score the touchdown themselves. I like that team. I think they're exceptionally well coached.
They have not given up a 100-yard rusher in 20 games. It's astounding when you face Marshawn Lynch twice and Frank Gore and all these other great running teams. But
I was talking about them with my buddy Gus on Sunday night, and I like Drew Stanton. Everybody, that's down to the reason everybody thinks they're not going to make it. But if you actually watch him play, he's the type of guy that you can get away with if you have a really good team because he throws a good deep ball. You know, he's going to connect on 2 deep balls a game, which is really all you want from him. You want him to not make mistakes, and you want him to at least challenge the defense and throw it deep. And he can do that. I think he's confident at that.
He's good. And, you know, it's funny. You say, I woke up this morning, and I almost had a heart attack. I saw ESPN. It was a headline on ESPN.com. Stanton $325 million deal includes early opt-out. I said, what the hell? What are the Cardinals doing? They've gone insane.
You believe that? Wow, you believe that for a second.
Well, it was still blurry-eyed, but it was Giancarlo Stanton, obviously.
That's great.
Yeah. All right, another late afternoon game. St. Louis at San Diego.
Last thing in that Seattle game.
Go ahead.
That crowd needs to win that game. And I don't know if that crowd is the same crowd that it was 2-3 years ago. I think it was interesting. I wrote about that in a column, got some good emails about it. And, you know, it's like what happens everywhere else. We have these great fans, but then the team starts winning, and some of those fans get priced out.
Right.
Also, they sell watered-down beer, which I think is interesting. But this is a game that their fans need to beat Drew Stanton. That's what needs to happen in this game. They need to absolutely go crazy every time the Cardinals are on offense.
So if the line is 11.5 men, do you bet over or under? Does a 12th man show up?
I go under. I don't think that I think this Cardinals team is really good. I don't think they're going to care.
Wow.
They're going to run the ball. They're going to make a couple big passes, and Wilson's not going to be able to throw on him. So this has to be a beast mode game. This is the most fascinating game in a while because if the Seahawks lose, they're out. They're done for the season. Yeah. I mean, you can't count on it. Like, is it possible like the Seahawks and Saints could lose a total of 5 or 6 home games this year? So that'd be something. It's just like I've watched a lot of Seahawks this year. I do not come away from their games thinking that they look good. Even the Giants game that they ended up turning on the Jets in the second half, but I watched that whole game. Like the first half, they looked terrible. Oh yeah. Well, they're deep. You know, they lost some key defensive players. Chancellor, Maxwell always bagged up. So, St. Louis at San Diego. Yeah, you can lose too many guys. I like the Rams in this game. I had the Chargers by 7. God, this is. I said 6, and it's 5.5. Oh wow! It's a team you don't want to bet against, and a team you don't want to bet at home. San Diego. It just seems weird. It seems like everyone's going to take the Rams here. The problem is that the Chargers have had too many injuries. You can pass we always talk about this. You can pass the point of no return. I think when they lost the cornerback, I think that might have been the point of no return. Right. And they haven't played a really good game since week 5 against the Jets. That was the last time they looked really good in the game. Yeah, they and then you look back at all their wins this year. The best win they have is when they beat the Seahawks. So you think they're maybe not? They're 6-4, 10-6 get you a wild card in the AFC? I don't see it. I actually think they could go like 7-9. Because after this, they're at Baltimore, home for New England, home for Denver, at San Francisco, at KC. They could drop off 5 of those.
Oh, that's a bad slate. I didn't realize it was that bad.
Yeah, they're a borderline cross-off to me. I love the Chargers. I had them going into the season as a possible AFC champion.
Oh, yeah.
I think they lost too many guys.
Miami at Denver, another team we had.
This is the biggest game of Ryan Tannehill's career. He can win this game.
This is not a gimme for the Broncos.
Normally
you want them, after they lost to the Patriots, whatever, they played the Raiders, and you knew they would come out crushing. But this is not a typical pissed-off Peyton Manning game.
And the recipe is now out for how to at least stymie them a little bit. I had the Broncos by 8.5.
All right, I said 9, and it's 7.5. So you get it.
So Vegas agrees. So we might not have Emmanuel Sanders in this game, which is huge.
Right.
We definitely won't have Julius Thomas, right?
Mm-hmm. I think.
No Ronnie Hillman.
Is Thomas out for sure? I know it was his ankle.
He'll be limping around at least.
Yeah.
The one way the Broncos, their defense could win this game. They could just harass Tannehill. But I think that the offense are good. I like this Dolphins team. I think they could win this.
This could be a close game. Boy, I want so badly to go Denver, New England on a 2-team teaser. But
don't. I'm not allowing you.
That's a loss, right? Or KC or one of those?
Don't do it.
One of those 3 loses.
No.
I'm not going to do it.
This week feels very underdoggy.
All right, maybe we do this one. Washington at San Francisco.
At the Niners by 9.5.
All right, you get it. You're making things interesting here. It's 9. I said 11. The spread is 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to 8. 8 to 7, I lead going into the Sunday night game. San Francisco, Alden Smith might make all the difference. I mean, they tried so hard to blow that cover against the Giants. Oh, my God. They just couldn't get it.
Oh, God. They really went after it.
Yep.
Is Kaepernick, is there a worse quarterback to gamble on than Kaepernick?
It's not fun to watch him.
Is there a single play where you feel safe with that guy? I feel like every time he goes back to pass, I'm either going to win or lose the game.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, Crabtree could look like a monster wide open, or like they'll throw to him in triple coverage, or it's and I don't know. I don't think they know their offensive game plan.
No, I don't. It's unclear if they have one. But I'll tell you this much: the schedule broke really nicely for them because
it did.
Washington this week, Seattle at home next week, and I think is that a Thursday night game? I think it is.
Which one?
Seattle at San Francisco. I think
that's Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
that's Thanksgiving. Yeah.
So that's an unbelievable spot for them, especially catching Seattle after that Arizona game. At Oakland, winnable. At Seattle at that point, that team might be swooning. Then San Diego at home, week 16, and then week 17. Home for Arizona. Arizona might be the 1 seed. They might have clinched everything by then.
Wow.
That might be just start the scrubs game. So
yeah,
I think your Cowboys should be nervous.
Well, back with my Cowboys for a second. Screw you, Washington, for just getting up for the Cowboys game once again. The only game you get up for all year. The disgraceful performance against the Buccaneers. I spent half the afternoon Sunday saying, how did we lose to this team?
I know. That's the NFL, though, right? Every team wins one game they shouldn't win. Like, how did the Titans kill the Chiefs?
Yeah, that was week 1, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird. All right,
2 more.
And there it is. Sunday at Dallas at Giants. Sunday night.
Well, I know Eli's record against the spread after he's thrown 5 interceptions in a game is 36-3.
Nice. Wow. Where did you get that?
Yeah, I made that up. Has anyone had more 5 interception and 4 interception games than Eli Manning? Has anyone looked that up?
This is going to sound stupid, but I think that's how he gets up for the Cowboys games. He purposely goes out there and throws 5 interceptions, and now watch. He's going to be Joe Montana Sunday night.
He tries to get him out of his system.
Yeah, that's it.
God. I mean, not all 5 were his fault, but you can kind of see it when he doesn't have it.
Yeah. but this is
I
traditional.
It's either 3 or 3.5, and I'm
going to tell you
say,
you're right. You're right. It's either 3 or 3.5. So concentrate.
I'm going to say Cowboys by 3.
All right, I said 3 also, and it is 3.5. So we tie. It should be 3. This is going to be a stupid game.
That will end up at 3.
I don't know. Maybe Bailey will bail us out once again, but
my dad was very upset that I compared him to Tom Coughlin in my Friday column.
Oh, he didn't like that?
Sent me a text that was like half joking, but I think half his feelings were hurt, and I felt bad.
That's great.
He's like, how am I Tom Coughlin?
He's more of a Tom Bosley, I think. He's an all-American dad. Now, let me just ask you, whose next 2 games are most important? One of them being on Thanksgiving for both. Seattle has Arizona, and then San Francisco on Thanksgiving. That's a 4-day stretch. I think they kind of have to win both. And Dallas has the Giants, and then on Thanksgiving, home against Philly. I think they have to win both.
Yeah, but your games are much easier. The Giants stink.
All right.
Your games are much easier.
Well, we're giving
the Cowboys have
Seattle's giving 6.
Yeah, but they have a red-hot Cardinals team, and then they have to win the San Francisco game.
Mm-hmm.
They could probably blow the Cardinals game, but they can't blow the Niners game, and they have to win.
They have to win next week, but that'll be for a wild card, yeah.
But how about this? If they blow that Cardinals game, then they're going into San Francisco on a Thursday, like with their whole season on the line. That's their biggest rival. I don't think the Niners blow that game.
No, probably not. It's going to be good. It's getting good, Billy. All right, Monday night, Baltimore at New Orleans. This game means nothing to you because I am up 9-8, and I picked this one exactly right. Hate to kill the drama. But, yeah.
This is a loser leaves town match.
You think so, huh?
No, I don't. I just felt like
you like Baltimore to win the division, I thought.
I think Baltimore's screwed if they lose this game, but the Saints, everyone gets to stay into the town until week 17 in the NFC South.
Right.
I have Saints by 4.
I said 3.5, and it is 3.5, and I don't know how you could take them anymore at home against a good team.
I just want to say that I changed 2 picks from the right answer to the wrong answer as you were doing that, and I feel I hate myself right now.
But you know what? You played the game legitimately for once all year, and it bit you in the ass. I'm sorry.
I resent that comment a lot. All right, so plug some stuff.
All right, Jimmy Kimmel Live tonight. Jason Bateman and Courtney Love, and we reveal People's Sexiest Man Alive on our show. I think it's Podcast Joe. I'm betting I'm get short odds for that. But
he's certainly high up there,
right? Jamie Foxx, music from the new Basement tapes, and One Direction later in the week. And Grantland, my Thursday column. You should please fade my Thursday night prop picks. They're awful, but. What is not awful, my Sports Center picks, 2-1 last week, 70% with my best bets. We both love the Chiefs. We both love the Colts Pats over. And you love the largest lead. That's a hidden gem, the largest lead over 13.5 points in the Pats Colts. That was pretty easy. Came early.
Yeah, it seems like I bet that's hitting 90% of the Colts games, right? They either blow somebody out or they're way down and they come back or they don't come back, but it seems
By
like
the way, the over, just I'm going to caution gamblers. If you've lost money on Sunday, these night games go over at an astounding rate. And especially when the Thursday night game goes under, it was Bengals-Browns. The Sunday night game is Sunday night or Monday night is going over, and you could bet your house on it. There's no way it's not going over. Yeah. I think only one Sunday night game didn't go over, Giants-Eagles. That's that.
And as I told everybody in the podcast 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, the Celtics over is the greatest bet in sports. I don't know if Vegas has finally caught on, but every game they play is in the 110.
I know. You should keep quiet about that because they will adjust. Someone's going to hear this.
I think they already adjusted. But I told you, America. I gave it out to you, and if you didn't listen to me, it wasn't my fault.
There you go.
Because good job by you. We will talk to you on Monday, and we'll be back in the B.S. Report with a very special guest. I don't want to give it away, but a very, very bucket list guest that we're recording today.
Oh,
so stay tuned
it's
for
on
that
our
this
dealer.
week.
It's on our blackjack dealer from Friday.
No, it's not our blackjack dealer, but it's somebody on the bucket list. Will be recorded this week. Very excited about it. Sal, good job by you.
Good job by you, Billy.
So I get to sign off. Whoa!
Thank you for downloading the BS Report with Bill Simmons.
Too much fun.
Check out more podcasts at the iTunes Music Store or at Podcenter at ESPNradio.com.
Peace out.
Gotta say, Golick, great call on grabbing Subway for lunch and getting guacamole on our subs.
Told you this new guac really amps up the flavor.
Yep, something adding up things can be great. Guacamole on your sub, a new co-host to replace you.
What was that?
Oh, no, nothing.
Subway now has deliciously rich new guacamole made from ripe Hass avocados with just a hint of garlic, onion, and jalapeno. Discover how new guacamole turns up the flavor on any of your freshly made favorites. Subway, eat fresh.